Explosion rocks nail salon, 12 people suffer minor injuries. Man arrested for animal cruelty after allegedly trying to kill factory full of chickens. Shocking robbery caught on camera highlights crime surge. Victim identified and suspect charged fatal shooting at university. Father alleges neighbor tried to poison his family after noise complaints. Torrington police seek assistance in identifying man linked to severe assault outside smoke shop. Nail salon murder trial unveils fatal business dispute, sister's testimony reveals details. Tragic discovery, missing 29-year-old found dead in car crash. Women face felony charges for illegally importing fruit from Vietnam. Deputies arrest 2 suspects in attempted bank robbery and hit-and-run of teen. Fresno small business owner makes heartfelt plea to end ongoing thefts. Serial sex assault suspect linked to attempted abduction of 12-year-old girls. Harasser of Chinatown nail salon workers receives 3 years probation. Burglars targeting residents of Asian descent in South Seattle armed home invasions. Man connected to Vermont murder sentenced on lesser charge. Pet store owner giving away his store for free with a catch. Explosion rocks nail salon, 12 people suffer minor injuries. Balch Springs, Texas, a nail salon was rocked by an explosion on August 19, leading to an ongoing investigation into the incident. Fortunately, none of the 12 individuals present inside the A1 nail spa suffered major injuries, as confirmed by local firefighters. Only 2 of those affected required hospitalization. Investigators have determined that the explosion originated in the attic space above the 7,500 square foot business, which is situated at 4101 Pioneer Road. Subsequently, a small fire ensued but was promptly extinguished. The blast resulted in significant damage to the nail salon, including blown-out windows and destroyed furniture. As a result, the establishment will remain closed until further notice. Local authorities are continuing their investigation to determine the cause of the explosion and assess the extent of the damage. Further updates will be provided as the investigation unfolds. Man arrested for animal cruelty after allegedly trying to kill factory full of chickens. Comer, Georgia. Huy Vinh Dang Nguyen, a 32-year-old resident of Comer, Georgia, found himself in custody on August 21, facing charges of animal cruelty and aggravated animal cruelty. These charges stem from a disturbing incident involving a poultry farm on Highway 191 in Comer, leading to the endangerment of thousands of chickens. The arrest of Nguyen comes after a series of ongoing disputes between him and the farm's owners, Tan Kiev and Tylet Phan. According to authorities, Nguyen had been living on the premises and was employed at the farm. However, after numerous disagreements, Kiev and Phan asked him to vacate the property and terminated his employment. Deputies from the Madison County Sheriff's Office were alerted to the situation when the broiler field supervisor for Pilgrim's Pride Corporation, the company associated with the farm, received a concerning signal. The notification indicated a significant increase in temperatures inside the 6 poultry houses on the farm. Upon inspection, the broiler field supervisor discovered that the water supply to all 6 buildings had been intentionally shut off. This water supply served both the drinking water for the birds and the cooling systems designed to regulate temperature within the poultry houses. According to the supervisor, the chickens could have been at risk of heat stress and dehydration if the water supply had not been promptly restored. He suspected that Nguyen had turned off the water in response to being asked to leave the farm. Deputies noted that Nguyen had sent multiple threatening and disturbing messages to Pilgrim's Pride employees, leading to concerns for the safety of those associated with the farm. Kiev expressed his fear that Nguyen might pose a threat to him and his wife, stating, "I understand why Pilgrim's Pride did not want to send anyone out to the farm due to safety issues." He also concurred with the broiler field supervisor, acknowledging that the chickens could have perished had the water supply not been reactivated. Nguyen, during an interview with sheriff's deputies, admitted to having disagreements with Pilgrim's Pride, mainly centered around differences in chicken raising practices. He also acknowledged sending threatening messages to company employees and revealed a personal struggle with drug addiction, specifically cocaine use. Despite these admissions, Nguyen vehemently denied any involvement in tampering with the water supply, asserting that he cared for the chickens and would never harm them. Following the incident, the affected chickens were relocated to another farm to complete their growth cycle. Additionally, the broiler contract between Pilgrim's Pride Corporation and the farm is temporarily suspended pending a full investigation, as per the sheriff's deputy report. Nguyen was released on a $7,250 bond, with strict orders not to return to the farm or contact its owners or any individuals associated with Pilgrim's Pride Corporation. Pilgrim's Pride Corporation released a statement, clarifying that the temporary closure of their Athens facility was due to planned expansion and emphasized that Nguyen was not an employee of Pilgrim's Pride but instead worked with one of their grower partners. Shocking robbery caught on camera highlights crime surge. Seattle, Washington. In a shocking incident captured on doorbell footage, two brazen robbers targeted an Asian man on the front porch of his home, tossing him and stealing his belongings, including his rings, in broad daylight. The incident, which occurred around 4:40 p.m. on August 26, has sparked outrage and further illuminated the escalating crime problem in the city. The distressing video shows the victim attempting to open the door of a Beacon Hill home when two masked assailants, armed and demanding his possessions, rush up behind him. Within seconds, the victim is incapacitated by a taser, causing him to fall backward, immobilized in pain. The robbers proceed to strip him of his personal items, including his wallet, rings, gold necklace, car keys, and iPhone. Law enforcement authorities are currently investigating the incident, which appears to be part of a disturbing trend where black teenagers are specifically targeting Asian victims in the area. This unfortunate case is emblematic of a string of recent robberies that have raised concerns within the community. Despite the robbers attempting to divert the camera's focus, the device managed to capture the entire incident, providing crucial evidence for the ongoing investigation. The victim's injuries remain undisclosed at this time. One of the suspects can be heard on the footage demanding, "Give me everything you've got." The severity of the incident and the targeting of a specific ethnic group have ignited strong reactions on social media. A Reddit post containing a clip of the attack has garnered widespread support for the victim, with many expressing their sympathy and condemnation for the crime. The Seattle Police Department is actively searching for the two suspects seen in the video. This robbery is believed to be part of a larger pattern of masked black teenagers targeting Asian victims, exacerbating existing concerns about safety and security in the city. Seattle's rising crime rates, particularly property crimes and vehicle thefts, have contributed to a growing sense of unease among residents. Data indicates that a significant portion of the population has felt compelled to consider relocating due to safety concerns, with over 227,000 individuals in the Seattle metro area contemplating moving in the last 6 months. The city's challenges have been exacerbated by various factors, including a spike in violent crime rates following the events of 2020. Budget cuts to the police department and a surge in homelessness have further strained the city's resources and contributed to the sense of insecurity. As Seattle grapples with these issues, community members and local authorities are working to address the root causes of the problem and find solutions to ensure the safety and well-being of all residents. Victim identified and suspect charged. Fatal shooting at University. Chapel Hill, North Carolina. In a tragic incident that has sent shockwaves through the UNC Chapel Hill community, the victim of the fatal on-campus shooting that occurred on Monday has been identified as Zijie Yen, a 38-year-old associate professor in the university's Department of Applied Physical Sciences. UNC Chapel Hill graduate student Tai-Lei Chi, 34, has been apprehended and charged with first-degree murder in connection with the shooting. The victim, Zijie Yen, was a respected academic who had been a part of the UNC Chapel Hill faculty since 2019. He held a prominent role as an associate professor and academic advisor, and he had cultivated a close working relationship with the accused, Tai-Lei Chi. The two individuals had collaborated on research projects, co-authoring papers, and were integral members of a departmental research group for the past year. The shooting took place within the Caudle Labs building on campus, prompting an immediate lockdown of the campus as authorities initiated an extensive manhunt for the suspect. The incident left the campus community in shock as students, faculty, and staff remained sheltered in place during the investigation. The accused, Tai-Lei Chi, had expressed frustrations on social media over the past year, often venting about his work, colleagues, and academic environment. These posts raised concerns about his mental state and potential conflicts within his academic sphere. However, it is yet to be determined whether Yen was a specific target of these grievances. UNC Chapel Hill Police Chief Brian James stated in a press conference that the motive behind the shooting remains unclear and is under investigation. The authorities are working in collaboration with state and federal law enforcement agencies to uncover the circumstances that led to this tragic event. Caudle Labs, the location of the shooting, remains inaccessible as investigations continue. The campus community is grappling with this devastating loss and the uncertainty surrounding the incident. The university is providing counseling and support services for those affected by the tragedy. The unfortunate incident underscores the need for continued efforts to address mental health concerns and conflicts within academic environments. As the investigation progresses, the community seeks answers and closure in the wake of this heartbreaking event. Father alleges neighbor tried to poison his family after noise complaints. Tampa Bay, Florida. In a shocking incident that has left a community reeling, a Florida man is now facing serious charges after allegedly attempting to poison his neighbors in response to noise complaints. The incident, which unfolded at an apartment complex, has brought to light a disturbing case of escalating tensions. Police authorities revealed that 36-year-old Shuming Lee has been charged with a series of offenses following an investigation into his alleged actions. According to law enforcement officials, Lee was caught on an undercover video inserting a syringe under the front door of his neighbor's apartment and injecting an unknown liquid. The neighbors, Umar Abdullah, his wife, and their 1-year-old daughter, had reportedly been suffering from a range of inexplicable health issues for over a month. Abdullah had become increasingly concerned about a lingering chemical smell inside their home that was causing severe discomfort to his family. The symptoms included debilitating headaches, persistent nausea, difficulty in breathing, excessive drowsiness, and even hair loss. Baffled by the source of these health problems, Abdullah took matters into his own hands. In a bid to uncover the source of the mysterious odor, Abdullah set up a hidden camera within a potted plant, discreetly facing his front door. The resulting footage sent shockwaves through the family as they saw their downstairs neighbor, Shuming Lee, allegedly engaging in the nefarious act. Abdullah expressed disbelief, stating, "We never expected anyone doing something, a neighbor who we knew by face at least for a year, so we were horrified. We were shaking." Tensions between the Abdullah family and Lee had reportedly escalated over the course of several months. The disagreements initially centered around noise complaints that emerged shortly after the birth of the Abdullah's daughter. As the situation worsened, it appears that Lee's response took an alarming and dangerous turn. Upon receiving the footage, Abdullah promptly contacted the authorities, prompting a swift response from the police. A hazmat team was dispatched to the scene to investigate the situation further. Their findings were deeply troubling. Tests on the injected liquid revealed the presence of methadone and hydrocodone. This revelation escalated the case from a domestic dispute to a potentially life-threatening criminal act. Lee, who was pursuing a doctorate in the University of South Florida's chemistry department, was subsequently arrested on 6 charges. These charges include multiple counts of battery, aggravated stalking, and dispersing a chemical agent. Lee's arrest and the subsequent legal proceedings have left the Abdullah family shaken and traumatized. Umar Abdullah expressed his family's fear and anxiety, stating, "Right now, I am afraid to live in any upper floors. I still believe there are not too many persons like him, but still, it's like a trauma. Whenever we accidentally drop our phone, we get shaken because what if, again, someone comes and just harms us?" Lee, who has pleaded not guilty to all charges, was released on bond 2 days after his arrest. His next court appearance is scheduled for December. The case serves as a reminder of the potential consequences of escalating conflicts and the importance of resolving disputes through peaceful means. The community remains on edge as they await the outcome of this disturbing case. Torrington police seek assistance in identifying man linked to severe assault outside smoke shop. Torrington, Connecticut. Authorities are actively seeking the public's help in identifying a man believed to be associated with a severe altercation that unfolded outside a smoke shop in Torrington. The incident, which transpired outside the Smoke Tokay store on East Main Street, left 53-year-old Tang Nguyen of Torrington in a gravely injured state. Police responded promptly to the distress call on Wednesday at approximately 7:40 p.m. Nguyen was discovered unconscious and non-responsive at the scene. His injuries were described as severe, initially rendering him in critical condition. However, there has been a positive update on his health status, and he has since been reclassified as being in stable condition. Torrington police have indicated that preliminary investigations point towards a physical altercation between Nguyen and an unidentified male. The exact circumstances leading up to the altercation are yet to be determined, as the investigation is still underway. In an effort to swiftly advance the case, law enforcement officials have released a surveillance image of an individual they are keen on identifying. This individual is believed to have pertinent information that could aid in shedding light on the events that transpired that evening. The Torrington Police Department is urging anyone with relevant information about the incident or the individual in the released photo to come forward. Individuals can reach out to Torrington Police by calling 860-489-2090. Any piece of information, no matter how insignificant it may seem, could prove crucial in helping the authorities piece together the puzzle and bring clarity to this unfortunate incident. The community's cooperation is seen as pivotal in ensuring the safety and well-being of its members, as well as facilitating the investigative process. The Torrington Police Department remains committed to thoroughly investigating this matter and is appreciative of any assistance provided by the public. As the investigation continues, updates will be provided as they become available. The community is advised to stay vigilant and supportive during this time, working collectively to uphold the peace and security of Torrington. Nail salon murder trial unveils fatal business dispute, sister's testimony reveals details. San Antonio, Texas. The courtroom witnessed a tense display of family turmoil during the ongoing punishment phase of the Kiet Nguyen murder trial, shedding light on the tragic outcome of a heated business dispute. Nguyen, who entered a guilty plea on Monday, stands accused of fatally shooting his brother-in-law, Ryan Vo, on July 5, 2021. In Wednesday's court proceedings, Stacey Nguyen, Kiet Nguyen's sister and Ryan Vo's wife, took the witness stand to offer insight into the complex family dynamics. Stacey Nguyen clarified that although she initially intended for her brother to work with her at the new nail salon, he was never granted ownership rights over it. Earlier testimony this week exposed Kiet Nguyen's growing frustration over perceived discrepancies in his share of the business. He asserted that he had invested funds for advertising, supplies, and his work as a nail technician at the salon but had not received proper compensation. Stacey Nguyen affirmed that her brother was indeed compensated, although she did not provide specific dates. Additionally, she noted that her husband was primarily responsible for managing the financial aspects of the venture. However, Stacey Nguyen refuted the claim that her brother owed over $20,000 in business expenses, asserting that he was fully aware of the partnership agreement that encompassed herself, her husband, and Kiet Nguyen. Nonetheless, Stacey Nguyen's testimony faced challenges as another brother and their mother took the stand in defense of Kiet Nguyen. Both Vu Nguyen and Thuy Nguyen presented an alternate perspective to the jury. They confirmed that they were well aware of the partnership from its inception and emphasized that Ryan Vo was not intended to be part of this business arrangement. Vu Nguyen shared that his brother had explicitly communicated to their sister that he would collaborate with her only if her husband had no involvement in the partnership. He even recounted discussing the option of releasing Kiet Nguyen from the partnership and assisting in covering his share of the expenses. "I just wanted Stacey to treat him fairly and let him go," Vu Nguyen asserted. The trial proceedings are set to continue on Thursday, with the jury anticipated to begin deliberations on Friday. Nguyen faces a potential sentence of 5 to 99 years or even life imprisonment as the legal process unfolds. The courtroom drama underscores the profound consequences that can stem from conflicts within family-run businesses. Tragic discovery: missing 29-year-old found dead in car crash. Louisville, Kentucky. In a heart-wrenching turn of events, the search for 29-year-old Duong Nguyen came to a devastating end when he was found dead in a car crash. The news sent shockwaves through the community, leaving his family and friends in grief. Duong Nguyen, a recent pharmacy school graduate who had just completed his boards, had gone to a friend's place on a Saturday evening, as he put it, to turn his brain off. Little did anyone know that this evening out would end in tragedy. Jennifer Nguyen, Duong's cousin and roommate, who had attended and graduated from pharmacy school alongside him, usually would have joined the gathering but decided to stay in that night. She expressed the fear and uncertainty that gripped her and others close to Duong, saying, "The scariest thing was not knowing where he was or what happened." As hours turned into a nerve-wracking search, the community rallied together, and within hours, approximately 80 people were scouring the area in search of Duong Nguyen. Police joined the effort on Monday, focusing their search near his apartment, close to the Gene Snyder, near Bardstown Road. Unfortunately, there was no cell phone signal, and no trace of Nguyen's car could be found. In a twist of fate, it was one of Duong Nguyen's high school friends, now working as a homicide detective, who made the heart-wrenching discovery. Detective Kevin Carrillo reached out to Mikey Nguyen, Duong's older brother, on Tuesday morning to deliver the tragic news. Mikey Nguyen, overwhelmed with grief, described his younger brother through tears, saying, "He was a genuine human being. Everybody loved him." The pain and sorrow in his voice were palpable as he recounted the moment he received the news. According to authorities, it appears that Duong Nguyen lost control of his vehicle on a ramp, leading to a collision with trees in a wooded area along I-265. Duong Nguyen's promising life was cut short. He had been working diligently to pursue a career in retail pharmacy, with the goal of supporting his family to the point where his mother could retire in just 2 years. Friends and family recalled his exceptional intelligence, dedication to his studies, and an unmatched work ethic that made even the most challenging tasks appear effortless. Visitation to pay respects to Duong Nguyen will be held at Ratterman Funeral Home, located at 7336 Southside Drive, on both Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. The final farewell will take place with a burial at Cave Hill Cemetery on Monday. As the community mourns the loss of a promising young individual, Duong Nguyen's memory will continue to live on in the hearts of those who knew and loved him. Women face felony charges for illegally importing fruit from Vietnam. San Jose, California. 2 women from San Jose are facing felony charges after they were allegedly involved in a scheme to illegally import and sell tropical fruit from Vietnam, some of which were infested with fruit flies. Santa Clara County District Attorney Jeff Rosen's office said 42-year-old Han Hong Huynh and 36-year-old Ton Tuen Huynh, who are unrelated, have been charged with conspiracy to import and sell fruit in violation of state and federal agricultural laws. Last year, the pair arranged for the fruit to be shipped from Vietnam and misidentified the items as dried fish, coffee, or tea to avoid inspection, prosecutors said. The illegal items included langsat or lanzones, which are tropical fruit in the shape of a large grape. Prosecutors said Ton Huynh ignored calls by local officials in May 2022 to stop selling illegal fruit. Yet, she continued to advertise on social media and sell the fruit, some of which was seized, tested, and found to be heavily infested with the larvae of a destructive fruit fly endemic to Southeast Asia, the DA's office said in a statement. Han Huynh is accused of sending a relative to a shipping facility in Alameda County to pick up 200 pounds of langsat, which was disguised as dried fish, coffee, and tea. Prosecutors said the shipment was addressed to her business, a gift shop in East San Jose. Officials warned the relative that the importation violated the law, according to prosecutors. The fruit was destroyed. This is serious and reckless behavior, District Attorney Jeff Rosen said. If they spread, these flies can destroy crops. This county's farms and everybody's food prices are at stake. Prosecutors said Han Huynh was arraigned on August 4. Ton Huynh is expected to be arraigned on September 8. Deputies arrest 2 suspects in attempted bank robbery and hit-and-run of teen. Alameda County, California. The Alameda Sheriff's Office announced on Wednesday that 2 individuals have been arrested on suspicion of attempting to rob a bank and their involvement in a hit-and-run incident involving a juvenile in San Lorenzo. Kevin Perry, 21, and Duong Nguyen, 21, have been apprehended on suspicion of attempting to rob a Citibank and committing a felony hit-and-run involving a juvenile in a crosswalk. The incident began when law enforcement authorities initiated a search for an unknown male wearing a dark hoodie and mask. This individual entered the Citibank on Paseo Grande on a Monday and handed over a note demanding $20,000, accompanied by a threat to blow up the bank, according to police reports. A second individual in his early 20s, of slender build, dressed in all-black clothing, a black backpack, and red and black shoes, acted as a lookout during the attempted robbery. Both suspects left the bank premises before any money could be handed over, as confirmed by law enforcement. Following this, a brief vehicle pursuit by the police ensued as the suspects entered a blue Ford Taurus. However, this pursuit came to an end after the suspects struck a juvenile who was walking across the street. The young victim was promptly transported to the hospital and is expected to recover. As part of the sheriff's office investigation, authorities located the Taurus and both suspects at a residence in the city of Alameda. Additionally, a stolen Lexus sedan was also found at the scene. Upon attempting to make contact with the suspects, they fled on foot. Law enforcement established a perimeter, and the suspects eventually surrendered. The sheriff's office alleges that Perry and Nguyen were wearing clothing that matched what was worn on the day of the attempted robbery and hit-and-run. Perry, who was on parole and had an extensive criminal history, reportedly attempted to access a crawl space above the sheriff's interview room but was unsuccessful. Nguyen is also on probation for robbery. Both suspects have been booked into Santa Rita Jail on various felony charges. Fresno small business owner makes heartfelt plea to end ongoing thefts. Fresno, California. A passionate plea for respite echoes through the local business community as a persistent series of thefts from a particular group has left a small business owner deeply frustrated and disheartened. Lee Vang, the dedicated owner of Bingo Pure Water in Fresno, is grappling with a distressing situation involving repeated thefts orchestrated by a specific group that continually returns to her store. Expressing a mix of outrage and helplessness, Vang took to social media to share surveillance footage capturing the acts of what she believes are preteens and teenagers. In the video, these individuals can be seen entering her store, quickly grabbing beverages and snacks, and then making a swift exit. According to Vang, this recurring scenario has been transpiring multiple times every single month. The recent videos she posted were from consecutive incidents, painting a stark picture of the ongoing issue. Vang recounted a troubling interaction with a girl from the group who brazenly confronted her, asking, "What are you going to do about it?" Meanwhile, a boy in the group asserted, "You can't do anything to us." Reflecting on her deep connection to the Fresno community, Vang shared her frustration, saying, "I am a local small business owner here in Fresno. I have lived here for most of my life and served the community with my little shop for a few years now." She went on to express her genuine desire for the thefts to cease, emphasizing the powerlessness she feels in the face of the situation. Vang issued a heartfelt appeal to parents and guardians, urging them to monitor their children's activities and instill values of integrity and respect. She hopes that someone recognizes the group depicted in the videos and takes the initiative to inform their parents about their actions, facilitating a positive change in behavior. The earnest call for an end to these thefts resonates with the broader community, shedding light on the struggles faced by small business owners and the need for collective efforts to create a safe and respectful environment for all. Serial sex assault suspect linked to attempted abduction of 12-year-old girls. Prince William County, Virginia. A 20-year-old man previously connected to a series of sexual assault cases across northern Virginia earlier this summer has now been tied to 2 more cases, according to authorities. Hien the Din, a resident of Stafford, has been linked to a pair of attempted abductions that occurred in May 2022 in Triangle, Prince William County. Din was taken into custody in July 2023 after being charged with sexually assaulting and attempting to abduct a woman in Chantilly, Fairfax County. The incident in Triangle bore a chilling resemblance to the previous cases. On May 10, 2022, around 7:55 a.m., a 12-year-old girl was walking to school when a man, later identified as Din, walked past her and began following her on Graham Park Road, as reported by county police. After a short distance, Din grabbed the girl from behind and engaged in inappropriate touching. The brave girl yelled and struggled to free herself. Eventually, Din released her and fled on foot toward Jin Memorial Park. The young victim continued to Graham Park Middle School, where she immediately reported the incident to school personnel, who then contacted the school resource officer, SRO. During their investigation, officers learned that a second 12-year-old girl had also been assaulted that same morning by an individual matching the suspect's description. The second victim informed police that she was walking near Jin Memorial Park when she noticed a man following her. At one point, the suspect, identified as Din, approached her from behind and engaged in inappropriate touching. The second victim also yelled and began running from the suspect. A compassionate motorist passing by stopped their vehicle and offered the victim a ride home. The girl promptly reported the incident to a family member, who in turn contacted the police. Notably, Din did not communicate with either victim during these 2 separate encounters. This week, he has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated sexual assault and 1 count of attempted abduction with intent to defile. Harasser of Chinatown nail salon workers receives 3 years probation. New York City. Sharon Williams, a 52-year-old woman apprehended in April 2021 for subjecting Asian employees at a Chinatown nail salon to harassment, has been sentenced to 3 years of probation, as ruled by the Manhattan Supreme Court on Thursday. Williams faced charges of aggravated harassment and physical threats towards an undercover police officer, according to the New York Daily News. The court's decision mandates her attendance in an implicit bias program, anger management sessions, and screenings for alcohol and substance use disorders. The incident occurred on April 6, 2021, when Williams targeted Asian staff at the Good Choice for Nail Salon on Madison Street, unleashing threats and blaming them for the COVID-19 pandemic. She went on record as saying, "You brought the corona to this country." Furthermore, Williams confronted another Asian woman outside the salon, eventually turning her attention to an undercover Asian officer who intervened. In a racially charged outburst, she directed derogatory slurs, referring to the officer as a monkey and a Chinese mother****. The undercover officer in question was reportedly part of the New York Police Department's initiative to combat the rise in anti-Asian hate crimes by patrolling city streets. Williams' arrest marked a significant development, as it was the first apprehension made by an officer as part of this initiative. Williams had previously faced 3 open cases for assault and menacing prior to the nail salon incident. However, her record revealed a lack of proactive efforts to reform her behavior, as highlighted by Assistant District Attorney Dylan Los Huertos. Another case against Williams involved her allegedly attacking a woman in June 2022. In that instance, Williams reportedly yelled homophobic slurs before attacking the victim with a knife. Prosecutors are seeking a prison sentence of up to 3 years in this ongoing case. Sharon Williams' probation sentence illustrates the legal system's response to hate-driven incidents and the wider issue of anti-Asian hate. Her case stands as a reminder of the ongoing struggle against discrimination and harassment targeting marginalized communities. Burglars targeting residents of Asian descent in South Seattle, armed home invasions. Seattle, Washington. Residents are living in fear as a group of burglars relentlessly target homeowners of Asian descent in South Seattle through a series of armed home invasions. Police authorities have reported that these criminals have not hesitated to escalate their crimes by even threatening the victims' children. Since the beginning of August, a spree of 8 burglaries has unfolded across the Rainier Beach, Rainier View, and Beacon Hill neighborhoods. During these horrifying incidents, the assailants have shown no mercy, going so far as to point a firearm at a 10-year-old child's head and forcibly walking them through their own home. Zada Hall, a resident of Rainier View, shared the heightened sense of anxiety that has gripped the neighborhoods. Hall not only runs a daycare from her home but has also stepped into the role of an unofficial neighborhood watch. She revealed, "There is a lot of traffic at night up and down the streets. You really have to watch." Reflecting on recent disturbing incidents, Hall recounted, "A couple months ago, there was a guy peeping into the window on the side of the house, so it's really been bad." With the recent surge in armed home invasions in the vicinity, Hall remains vigilant, stating, "I call if I see somebody in somebody else's yard. I'm really watching and making sure they are safe." Seattle police have shared that a criminal crew consisting of 3 to 7 individuals, masked with ski masks and armed with guns, has been forcefully entering homes. Their modus operandi involves holding residents hostage within their own homes until they manage to seize valuable items. South Precinct Commander and Acting Captain Robert Brown expressed deep concern over the level of trauma these criminals are inflicting. Brown detailed a particularly alarming incident. "One of them in particular alarmed me. It was where there was a 10-year-old resident in the house, a 10-year-old kid. They were leading the kid around the house with a gun to his head, asking the kid where the valuables are." In some instances, language barriers have contributed to a delay in reporting these terrifying incidents, with victims struggling to communicate their ordeals promptly. "It's clear whoever is committing these is scoping out and deciding which place they are going to go to strike," commented Brown, emphasizing the calculated nature of the attacks. At a recent community meeting, residents voiced their fears and frustration over the ongoing crimes. One resident highlighted the need for clear communication with the Asian community about these incidents, stating, "Was there any communication to the Asian community on this because that's actually disturbing? My parents live in South Seattle, and they are probably prime targets." As the community grapples with the trauma of these armed home invasions, local authorities are under increasing pressure to address the issue swiftly and effectively. The safety and security of all residents, regardless of their ethnicity, must remain a top priority as efforts to apprehend these dangerous criminals intensify. Man connected to Vermont murder sentenced on lesser charge. Burlington, Vermont. A significant development unfolded in the case of the Burlington murder as a man linked to the incident has been sentenced to a lesser charge. The courtroom witnessed this turn of events on Monday. In April 2020, the tragic death of Stephen Martin, 38, shook the Burlington community as he was fatally shot in his own home, ultimately passing away at the hospital. Octavius Allen Napier, hailing from Philadelphia, faced federal gun charges in connection with the incident. Meanwhile, Peter Nguyen, a resident of Burlington, turned himself into local law enforcement. Originally, both individuals had entered pleas of not guilty to charges of second-degree murder. However, a recent plea deal led to a change in Nguyen's plea, who has now admitted to the charge of aggravated assault. During the sentencing proceedings, Nguyen expressed remorse and offered an apology, stating, "Yes, I'd like to apologize for my part in all of this. To the family, I'm very sorry that this happened." The court ruled that Nguyen would serve a minimum of 2.5 years behind bars. Thanks to credit for time already served, his sentence was subsequently suspended, resulting in a 2-year probationary period. In a separate legal course, Octavius Allen Napier took a different path. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter earlier this year and is currently serving a sentence ranging from 11 to 25 years. The courtroom proceedings highlight the complexities of legal cases, plea bargains, and the pursuit of justice. The outcome showcases the varied paths that legal proceedings can take, even in cases involving tragic and serious crimes. Pet store owner giving away his store for free with a catch. San Francisco, California. In a heartwarming gesture that reflects his lifelong dedication to animals, John Chan, the owner of the beloved pet shop, Pet Central, in Chinatown, is making headlines by offering his business for free to a passionate animal lover willing to continue his legacy. Despite his unease with cameras, John Chan's affinity for animals is evident as he engages effortlessly with the creatures in his store. From silencing a chatty parrot with a few soothing words to tending to a variety of exotic pets, Chan has dedicated his life to nurturing the well-being of these animals. Chan's connection to his shop goes back to his childhood, spending every available moment assisting his father, who originally ran the store. After taking over the business, Chan's commitment never wavered. For over 4 decades, he dedicated 10 hours a day, 6 days a week, fostering an environment where animals and customers alike could thrive. However, at the age of 58, Chan is now seeking retirement to cherish more moments with his family. He recently took to social media to find a suitable individual to carry on the legacy of Pet Central. His poignant ad read, "Pet store for sale. Owner retired. Looking for someone who loves animals. And take good care of my customers. Asking price is $0. We're not trying to make money off the pet store," Chan revealed. "We want to make sure we find people with a good heart. That's the most important thing." While Chan acknowledges the business is valued at approximately $300,000, his intention is to recover the value of the inventory, which stands at roughly half that amount. This compassionate approach resonates with his loyal customers and the community, symbolizing the end of an era for the cherished pet store. Andrew Brown, one of Chan's regular customers, expressed his sentiments, saying, "I can only say this is very iconic of him." As for John Chan, his future plans are modest yet joyful. "I think a long-time vacation, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month," he mused, looking forward to the well-deserved break ahead. John Chan's selfless act of passing on his pet store to a kindred spirit not only honors his dedication to animals but also highlights the enduring impact of community connections and shared passions.